Good morning, dear students. Hope you all are fine. I am Dr. Sandeep Ansari. I am working as assistant professor in the Department of Commerce and Management Science in RB Attal College, Gewrai PED. I have been teaching from last 12 years to different classes like BCom, BBA, BCA, MCom, MCom E-commerce, and MBA. My specialization for teaching and learning is accounting and finance. Due to that, it gives me immense pleasure to inform you all that I'm going to start the lecture series for cost accounting. Regarding it, I would like to invite you, all the learners and students in this lecture series. I am sure your participation to this lecture series would make an excellent knowledge on basic concept of cost accounting as well as the entire cost accounting mm, subject. If you have any question or concern, please do not hesitate to contact me and ask me. The detailed contents of this lecture series are also attached herewith for your reference. As we all know that government has locked down the entire nation, including all the academic institutes, colleges, universities, due to the pandemic of COVID-19, and all the teaching faculties are working from home to prevent any academic loss of the students or student community at the large in the nation. Furthermore, all the teachers are also utilizing the time to create knowledge for the student. So, if you wish to part for this knowledge creation opportunity, then it would be the best time to utilize in and join this lecture series. I also urge you all that please don't step outside until absolutely necessary. Stay home and stay safe. Today, this is the first lecture I would like to take on cost accounting, and I will I will take the lecture uh, on these are the important contents of the today's lecture, that is history. This is the first lecture which I would like to take on basic of cost accounting, which includes the history or the development or historical development of cost accounting. What is the concept of, or what is the difference between costing, cost accounting, and cost accountancy? Objectives of cost accounting, scope of cost accounting, advantages and limitations of cost accounting, limitations of financial accounting, difference between cost accounting and financial accounting, and conclusion. These are the basic introductory part of cost accounting. But um, I think these are the points which I have to take in two different lectures. First lecture, I would like to cover the historical development of cost accounting and the basic difference between costing, cost accounting, and cost accountancy, and objectives of cost accounting, scope of cost accounting, and the remaining part we will discuss in next uh, lecture. So, the first point, that is history and the development of cost accounting, we will see. Okay, the historical development. These are the points which is very important in the historical development of cost accounting. Uh, Before 15th century, no accounting system was there, and it was it was a barter system. It was in the last year of 15th century, last last year of 15th century. Luca Pasilio, that was the Italian mathematician who found out the double entry system of accounting in the year of 1494. Later, it was developed in England, England was the first country in which the cost accounting was developed, and after that, all over the world, it is developed up to the 20th century. During these 400 years, the purpose of cost accounting made the purpose of cost accounting need are served as a small branch of financial accounting. That means it is known as the branch of financial accounting only. During the World War First and Second, the social importance of cost accounting grew up with the growth of each country defense expenditure, because the most of the countries were suffering from the heavy losses due to the World War First and World War Second. Due to that, um the cost accounting has emerged as a specialized discipline due to some reasons. The some reasons include: number one, that is limitations of financial accounting. In the financial accounting, there was a system to record only the transactions and show the picture of recorded transactions. But there is a need of uh, different accounting terms, like improved cost consciousness for the industries during that World War period. Then rapid industrial development, growing competitions, and controlling price rises. These are the reasons behind that the cost accounting has emerged during that World War period for the world. In concern of India, before independence, there were few cost accountants, and they were mainly qualified from ICMA, Institute of Cost and Management Accountant, London, which is known as CIMA now. During the World War II, the need for developing the profession in the country was felt, and the leadership of forming an Indian institute was taken by some member of defense services employed at Kolkata. However, with the enactment of Cost and Work Accountants of India Act 1959, the ICWF India, Indian Institute of Cost and Work Accountant, was established in Kolkata. The professional assumed further importance in 1968. In 1968, the Companies Act 19, 1956, uh, the importance in the profession assumed further importance in 1968, when the government of India introduced cost audit under section 233B of Companies Act 1956. At present, it is under section 148 of Companies Act 2013. So this was the historical development of cost accounting throughout the world as well as for the India. Now, Institute of Cost and Work Accountant of India is independently working, and many professionals are working all over the world as well as in India also. Next part, that is next content, which is very important at the beginning of the cost accounting subject, because there are three different words which is interchangeably using, but they have a different meaning. That is costing, cost accounting, and cost accountancy. First of all, the student or learners have to know the exact meaning for these three different terms. Costing, we have I have taken here the definitions from reputed books, uh, and try to sort out the difference between these three terms. First, costing. What is costing? Costing is defined as the technique and profession of ascertaining cost. Costing is defined as the technique and process of ascertaining of cost. It is a technique as well as a process of ascertaining a cost. Ascertaining a cost at different situations in the organization. It's very important task because the determination or ascertainment of cost of the product, ascertainment of cost of the process, ascertainment of cost of a job at a different situation is a critical job for the management, and cost accounting works for that uh, specific work. What is now the broader concept than the cost accounting is a cost accounting. Cost accounting, the definition is for the cost accounting is cost accounting for cost classification and analysis of expenditure as will enable the total cost of any particular unit of production to be ascertained with reasonable degree of accuracy, and at the same time to disclose exactly how such total cost is constituted. The analysis of expenditure as the analysis of expenditure is very important point of the cost accounting because uh, first of all, costing works for the ascertainment of cost. Cost ascertainment and the analysis of cost is the next part. Throughout the analysis of the expenditure, it reveals the many reason about the actual cost, about the expected cost, about the predetermined cost, and all this classification has been made in the cost accounting only. So this is the broadest concept than the costing, that work is done by the cost accounting. And with and for this work, cost accounting use some specific techniques. They have a specific or uh, degree of accuracy. Cost accountancy, now cost accountancy is a broader concept than the cost accounting and costing. Costing is a work for only cost ascertainment. Cost accountancy is work for to classification of expenditure, analysis of expenditure with reasonable accuracy or with degree of accuracy, and so on. Now, cost accountancy, the definition is given for the cost accountancy is that the application the application of costing and cost accounting principles, methods, and techniques to the science, arts, and practice of cost control and the ascertainment of profitability. Cost control and ascertainment of profitability, it is a cost accountancy. Means it is a managerial part which include to ascertainment of profitability and cost control. It is also known as cost accountancy is a science, arts, and practice. It is a science because it is a systematic body of knowledge having certain principles, which a cost accountant should possess for proper discharge of his responsibility. It is a art as it requires the ability and skill with which cost accountant is able to apply the principle of cost accountancy to various managerial problems. Cost accountancy is a practice also because it includes the continuous efforts of a cost accountant in the field of cost accountancy. Such efforts of cost accountant also include the presentation of information for the purpose of managerial decision making and keeping statistical. These are the three basic difference in between these three terms: costing, cost accounting, and cost accountancy. Even it is interchangeably used or alternatively used for each other. Even these three concept has its different meaning and its different scope also. Now next, that is objective of cost accountancy. Let's see what are the objectives of cost accountancy, or on which objectives cost accountancy are working. There are many objectives of cost accountancy we can sort out, but I would like to highlight these five uh, objectives which is more important as compared to the other. Number one, to ascertain the cost under different situations using different techniques and system of cost accountancy. Obviously, cost accounting has its own techniques. Cost accounting has its own system to ascertainment of cost, to classification of cost, to analysis of cost, and so on. So, on these uh, on this basis, cost accounting try to ascertain the cost at different situations. Different situations means the situation in concern to the product, product, process, material, labor, and etc. Or the situations may be internal, external. At these different situations, the cost calculation is the main object of cost accountancy. Number second, to determine the selling price under the different circumstances. Definitely, we this market is known as a competitive market, and the determination of selling price it's a very important and crucial work of any organization, because the selling price must be maintained at the competitive in the market. So determination of selling price is the prime and important and basic job of cost accounting, through which uh, uh, they can give the uh, very important role of cost accountant and cost accounting for the organization to determine the selling price. Number three, object number third objective is to determine and control efficiency by setting standard for material, labor, and overheads. These are the three important uh, parts of any total cost of the product, process, or whatever. Material means almost more than almost 60% cost are engaged in the material, 30% or 40% cost are engaged in the labor, and remaining cost are in the overhead. So determination of these three different cost in the total cost, control over these cost, and to also cost accounting helps to setting a standard for this cost. To next objective is that to determine the value of closing inventory for preparing financial statement of the concern. Closing inventory is also very important, uh, because in the financial accounting we see that the inventory is valued at different prices, but in cost accounting there is only one way, that is the market value of the inventory is marked as a closing value. So it is also object of to determine the closing value of the inventory. uh, and next is to provide a basis for reporting policies, which may be determination of cost volume relationship, whether to close or operate at a loss, whether to manufacture or buy from market, whether to continue the existing method of production or to replace it, buy or more improved method of production, etc. These are also the basic objective of cost accounting, to provide the guidance to the management to take decision related to these important work of the organization, like whether to manufacture or buy, whether to continue the existing method of production or replace it, whether to close or operate at losses, and whether there is any need to improve the method of production, etc. These types of decisions only management can take on the basis of necessary or required information, and that required and necessary information only provided by the cost accounting and management accounting only. This is the limitations on financial accounting, because these types of information uh, do not provided by the financial accounting to the management. These types of information provided by the cost accountant through the cost accounting only, and this is the main objective we can solve for the cost accounting. These are the five important objectives I would like to highlight for cost accounting in the basic. Now we'll see the next content of this lecture, that is no uh, 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 this lecture discussed on history, the basic three terms, what is the difference between these three, and objectives. Okay, uh, I would like to stop for this lecture here, and the remaining part of the lecture, the basic of cost accounting, is scope of cost accounting, advantages and limitations, limitations of financial accounting, difference between cost accounting and financial accounting, and conclusion. These are the basic or introductory part of cost accounting. We will discuss in the next lectures, in the next lecture. So I would like to thank to listen this lecture very sincerely. Thank you. We'll see in the next lecture very soon. Thank you very much. Have a good day.